So what kind of wool do you need?
Okay, so what we're gonna do now, if this works, because I know that the connection wasn't good, the videos that I looked at last night before I went to bed, the picture wasn't very good, but we're gonna do 18th century general hair with the actual wool, because ladies could have used or would have used like wool to help get their hair up. So I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna introduce you to these like super awesome people, and then we're gonna do some hair. We'll attempt to do some hair with wool. Okay, so here is their display. I'll go really slow. She spins, and this is, so they're Baldwins. They're part of our group, and go ahead. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Phyllis Dickinson, and I've been doing spinning and things since I was 12. And this is my husband Paul, who is my comber.
Hi, Paul.
Prepares the wool to be spun.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was just telling him to say hi.
So he's preparing the wool to be spun right now, and we're going to show you guys, because we were going to do Phyllis's hair, and then I was thinking, well, how are we going to do it? And then I was like, oh my goodness, like they have wool, so we could show you guys how this is done. So she's going to kind of talk about the different types of wool that they have here.
What Paul's combing right now is a long wool. This is an English Leicester, and you can see how long those fibers are. Okay, and this is what it's washed, but it hasn't been combed out yet. So it kind of falls into locks. Think, you know, sheepy dreadlocks. And with some breeds of sheep, those are used to make wigs and things like that. Yep. And this has a luster to it, a shine to it. So it would be used for fabrics like good worsted suiting that would then have that sheen in the fabric. But you can see what Paul does with the combs is that he's not only getting all of this grass and nasty out that it doesn't wash out, but he's loosening up the locks so that the fibers are easy to pull out to spin into thread. That's a really long wool. This is a very short wool. And this is a Romney Border Leicester cross, and you can see the difference in the length here between the two different kinds of sheep. So this is a little hairier. This is really super soft. So this would be used for things like stockings and things that are going to touch your skin where you don't want it to be itchy. This is a long way from what my hair color used to be. But we have in the middle here, this is a Romney, much closer to where I'm going with my hair. And it's kind of in the middle compared to the Merino Romney or the English Leicester. It's very soft. It's long enough to comb. This particular fleece is shades of gray, so we're going to separate it into light, medium, and dark colors.
And that would be a good color for your hair.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I love the thought of that.
So when I stuffed my bum rolls and my hip pads and all those undergarments, this is what I used. I didn't actually get the nice combed out wool. I could have, but I didn't. I got the wool before it was combed out and before it was cleaned, because A, they sold it to me cheaper, and B, there's no reason that I needed to have fancy wool, you know, in something that somebody's not going to see. I can just throw what I need to get in there to make it puffed.
So what we could, this is some of what's left in the comb, and that would be ideal for that, because while it's clean, it's the short, nasty stuff, and would be ideal for something that it's better if it's clean, but you don't need it to be good quality. So, like this is the Romney Merino cross combings. You can see all the little short pieces and the noils and all the nasties. This would be great stuffing for what you're talking about doing.
Which is called noils in this form. And it could be carded, or you could use it for something like that.
Yeah, and this stuff is so short I wouldn't even bother carding it. This is definitely stuffing stuff.
So if someone wanted to get a hold of you guys to get like stuffing stuff or to get things, do you sell that stuff or?
We sell, we trade, we give away. You know, it kind of depends on who you are, where we see you.
Well, there you go,
and all
folks.
those
You
kinds
have
of
it. They
things.
sell, they trade, they give away. So if you haven't traded, trading is fun to do. You have to come up with what you want to trade for and see if the other person on the other end will trade. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, we have a Facebook page, Paul Dickinson, on Facebook, and you can always message us through that.
Okay. Very cool. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have, if you want to sit down.
Okay.
And then, do you want to do me a favor because Patrick is busy? Do you just want to hold this while I talk? And if it gets blurry, you can just hit where it's getting blurry and it'll focus for you.
Okay.
Yep. And then if somebody says something, the comments will post up here and then you can just holler them out. So at first I thought we were gonna see what we could do with Phyllis's hair day. At first I thought I would use a hair roller, and then I was like, oh my goodness, it's right here. They have all this wool. Let's do it historically. So in the 18th century, you could do it a couple ways. You could have your wool fabric, just cut scraps of wool fabric, sew them, and put your wool inside as you're batting and sew it up. And then you could have a roll like this. Or some women, they would just take these pieces and they would use it in their hair because like this is for color already. So we're gonna see what we can do without powdering.
So pieces like that, basically.
You can kind of guesstimate it, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
So again, with hers, we're going to do just a small front poof, nothing great, and we'll just kind of do it as we go along. So I have not powdered or pomaded her hair. Some pomade would be really nice. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna run really quick and grab pomade.
Okay. So you can kind of see from this sample of the fleece how the color in this, there's dark spots and there's lighter spots, and where it was exposed to the sun, it looks all burnt, and where it was next to the sheep is all nice and neat. So, I'll stop blithering.
So this morning we're gonna do lemon, because lemon is what I grabbed, so I hope you like lemon.
Lemon's good.
And again, way too much, you guys, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on our hands like this, and we're gonna just start. And what this is going to do is this is going to take care of any flyaways she has.
Oh,
this
good
is
trick.
this is going to give it a really nice gloss as well. I wasn't planning on powdering again because I didn't bring any of my stuff along to do that.
Yeah, I know.
And she doesn't want powder anyway, but that's okay. We'll see what we can do here.
Good luck. A little overly curly.
And I like her hair because it has a lot of texture to it. It's got a lot of nice. This is natural, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is nice natural wave. This is like the hair that I always wanted and never had.
Everybody wants the hair they don't have. I'd kill for some straightness.
Yeah, until you have it and have to deal with it, and then you'll be like, "Give me my hair back."
I don't know.
All right.
The older I get, the worse it seems to get too, which is not the way it's supposed to work.
You mean like the
Gray hair is supposed to be straighter,
Oh, right.
coarser, and it's not. It's getting worse. It's getting curlier and curlier.
Okay, so I have. If you want to bend your head down just a second, I have taken about this much. I am actually. Can you put it back up? I am actually guessing as I go along here, and our goal is going to be to have her hair poof just a little bit in the front, like this, and to help it along, we want to hide her center part, which actually looks pretty well hidden already. The pomade is going to help with that, and we are going to put just a little bit of wool to help get that poof. And you can make it however you want it. If you want like a long roll, you could roll her hair in this, right? So you could roll her hair in like this. You could, dang, that's really cool. Jackpot. Or if you wanted to, you could just shape this and just put this in the back and kind of lay her hair over.
Nobody's ever said jackpot about my hair.
First time for everything.
Oh yeah, a regular beauty salon, they look at me and they just sigh.
But in a historical beauty salon,
She goes, jackpot! I'm like, all
we say
right.
jackpot, yes.
Yeah.
Very 18th century terminology. No, I'm kidding, that's not an 18th century terminology.
We have a comment or a
Okay.
question. I'm extremely allergic to wool, but any application you're talking about work for me.
Yes, so then instead of using the wool, what you would do is you would go to our store and get the hair helpers, because those are not wool. This is like if you want to be extremely historically accurate, we have hair helpers that look like this in the shop to do your hair rolls. We have poofs in the shop to do your hair rolls, which are not wool, and that can get you the same look without using the wool.
You could maybe use cotton too, but you want something light, right?
Yeah,
You don't
I
want to
have
use
used
something heavy.
silk before on some people's hair. I've used silk where I've matched the color of silk, and I've used it as a roll, or I've wadded the wool up in the silk so the wool is not touching their head; it's wrapped in the silk. You can do that as well. So she has a wonderful jar of hairpins, and hairpins are historical and not bobby pins. You know, I say that all the time. So we were using hairpins today.
These are heavy.
Heavy duty
The
ones.
thick ones, yeah.
That's like the special box at Sally's.
I have a box of light ones that I loan people. These are mine.
Okay, so do you want to come closer and like peer in here? You may have to focus it, but I'll show you guys where the wool is and where her hair is, but you can't tell. So this part right here, I don't know if you can see where my finger is pointing. This is the wool, okay? And you can see where her hair is, but you can't really tell the difference because it's the perfect match.
And it's gray, but that's okay. I'll just pretend to age gracefully.
So we have this massive piece left. Do you have another big chunk of wool?
Yeah, I put it down over there.
Oh, I'll put it.
About the same size as the other one.
Yeah, or maybe larger. So this has to go up because you don't really want your hair hanging down, especially for like working ladies. You want to keep it clean. You want to keep it in your caps. So I thought I would just maybe put a little bit of a little bit of wool up in there, and we'll help get her cap poofed out a little bit. Yeah. Excellent.
I'm gonna get the.
So we have room for one more.
Well, if you're not in costume, not really. But if you want to sit,
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to take this chunk right here. I haven't even divided it because her hair is nice and curly. And we're just going to roll it up like this. It's okay. Your hair is actually really wonderful for historical hairstyling, so don't ever let anybody tell you that your hair is troublesome because it's not.
Well, if I could just live in this time period.
Yeah, right. So bobby pins would give this a little bit tighter hold. We could actually also be stitching this in with a needle and some thread. That is also historic as well. I don't talk about that very much, but it happens. So there was this big hoopla in the mid-18th century, powder versus no powder. Some people loved the powder, some people didn't. There was like groups dedicated to petitioning that women should not be wearing powder, women should be wearing powder, women should be just twisting their hair in a natural classic hairstyle. They should not be putting it all up so fancy. There were other people who, were like, that's ridiculous, the hair is beautiful this way and whatever. So There's really two schools of thought on that, so we're just going to combine a little bit of each. And because her hair is curly, it lends itself really nicely to just twisting. So all I'm doing is I just took chunks and I divided it, and we're twisting. And then, so this is what I did, you guys. I took my finger from underneath, flipped it around like this, and then we're just gonna pin it in place. And this is cool to show you guys that hairpins can work. You know, we use a combo usually in the shop, just because we don't have to worry about them coming out then, but hairpins can definitely work. I'm just gonna sneak under you here. So now we have this little piece right here, and I'm gonna just grab one more chunk of wool here. Just kind of a big chunk, and see what we can do. That's a little too big. Here, have some unclean wool.
Uncombed. It's clean, it really is.
Oh, that's right, because you have to wash it and everything
Yeah,
first.
if it doesn't
Yes.
smell like sheep, it's clean.
Right. And we have no sheep smell here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I just took that wool and I put it kind of behind. Now this style is really good for 1750s. This would be an excellent 1750s hairstyle. I don't know what time you were going for.
That's within the
That's
frame.
excellent. Okay.
Absolutely.
So this is actually really beautiful. So here's some of the wool poking out right here, but it actually looks like her own hair, so you could hide that, but you can't even really tell. Does it feel loose anywhere?
Almost a little bit there.
A little bit there.
Yeah.
Is that a little better? A little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. So
This is interesting too because it doesn't feel like all my hair's in one place, and so it doesn't feel like my hair weighs as much as it actually
good.
does. When I put it in just a bun, if I get it out wrong, I kind of walk around like this all day. and so this is really cool because it just really feels very
this
light.
feels so nice.
Yeah.
Feels very light. So just to kind of explain what we did, we took this front section here, we rolled it with some wool, all right? And then we took this section here, again, rolled it with some wool. We took a section on each side and we twisted them and just kind of twisted them up and pinned them. And this third section back here was the last section, and we just took and we rolled it with some wool. Do have a few hairpins that keep trying to pop out. But I think that's kind of normal. You'll have to just kind of... So now if she wanted to, you wouldn't have to leave your cap because it's so pretty, but if you... Wait, is this your cap?
Yeah.
Wrong one?
No, this one. Okay. And you can loosen it in the back if it's
Okay,
not big
so
enough to
with
go.
all your caps, guys, you have to loosen your strings before you put them on over your hair. That's why you have strings, so it can grab your hair. See where this top section is right here? This is where the top of the cap is going to go. So her poof is going to stick out, and that is why we have loosened it. So she has no extra poof supporters or like wool just to poof out her cap, because her hair is beautiful enough and full enough that it does that on its own. So you're going to carefully tighten that up. Does that feel tight on you?
Yeah, it feels like it's tight in the hair.
Okay. And you're gonna tie your back. And then, now if it was me, I would throw just a few pins in there, just to, do you have any like regular pins instead of hair pins?
Like sewing pins?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I think this is a really great style, showing you an earlier style, something that's not so tall, not so wide. It's just a really nice, everyday 1750s, probably even 1760s. So yeah, I think this is really great. She's gonna grab some pins. I will show you guys how to pin your cap on again. And it's really important that you guys pin your caps on because you don't want them falling off. With the historical hairstyles, they don't go all the way to the front. So you have to kind of leave some hair there. And yeah, so how are we doing with questions? Anybody else have any questions?
No, no other questions.
Okay. Otherwise, I can find some. I think mine are sitting out. I'll be right back.
Unless you want the ones with the curly end.
Oh yeah, that'd be
I have
cool.
big ones like that.
I just probably need 2 of them.
Bunches.
Okay. It's okay if I poke through your camera with these? This lovely couple also works with dogs. They do a thing with like working dogs through history, and you help rescue huskies. Is it huskies, Malamutes? Is it like
Siberian Huskies.
Siberian Huskies. Okay, so they help rescue Siberian Huskies, and then if you see them like when they're not at an indoor event. Okay, I don't want to hit your head. When you see them and they're not at an indoor event, they sometimes will have like a working dog that they can talk to you about. So what I did, guys, is I just took behind the lappets here, pulled them over, pinned it. I'm going to do the smallest one up on top. So if you want to just kind of come over the top here. So see, there's a lot of poof here.
That is cool.
I am going to go all the way down the scalp. This is where you have to be careful. Did I get you?
I just barely felt it.
Okay. And you want to get under that hair there.
Perfect.
So it holds it in well. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Is that smaller? I think that was a
Probably
little
not.
shorter.
That might be.
Okay, same thing on this side. Poke it through. I'm like petrified. I'm gonna get your scalp because these ones are sharp. Okay, there you go. So let me grab the. Okay, so you want to get a shot from the front. So this is her lovely do for today. And I just thought this was a really great opportunity to show you guys how to work with wool in the hair because it's very historical. And so, yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything to add to that? You haven't seen it yet.
I know, it feels fabulous though. It feels really good.
Fabulous. Looks great on you.
Awesome. So I'm going to thank you guys again for tuning in. This will probably be the last one of the day. This is the last day here at Oshkosh. We are going to tear down. We have a couple weeks. And then we will see you in Kalamazoo. Okay? So thanks again for tuning in. And this is Alicia from LBCC Historical.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can find our stuff at www.lebits.etsy.com. You can look up their Facebook page, which is what?
P. Dickinson, or Paul Dickinson.
Paul Dickinson, sorry, on Facebook. And if you guys want woolen stuff, they can probably hook you up. Okay? So thanks again, guys, and we will see you later.